Also in the File Server Resource Manager, we have File Screening Management. This allows me to create file screens. In short, a file screen allows me to control what types of files based on file extension my users can actually save. To look at an example of this, I'm going to create a new file screen. So when I right-click File Screens, there's an option to create a file screen. I'm going to choose that. The windows here look very similar to quotas. The layout and the navigation of this is nearly identical, although they control two completely different things. The file screen path is just the folder I want this file screen to apply to. Well, I'm going to browse, and I'm going to choose my C drive, and I'm going to click on this HR folder. I'm going to click Define Custom File Screen Properties. I'm going to choose Custom Properties. And conceptually, similar to the hard and soft quota, this gives me an active and a passive file screen. An active file screen means you can't save a certain type of file. Passive, you are allowed to save it, but I can then run a report that will let me know that you did save it. So that is strictly used for monitoring. A common category is this audio and video files. If I select audio and video files and choose Edit, these extensions here are all audio or video extensions. If I scroll through the list, you'll see some common video extensions, audio extensions that you're likely familiar with. AVI, MP3, MP4, MPEG, WAV files. So there's a whole host of files there. If you wanted any additional file extensions, you could simply type asterisk dot whatever the extension is, and it would add that extension in. They just pre-populate this with some of the most common extensions. You could also exclude individual files. So if I have a company jingle and I want to save that, I could specify that file name and it would not be subject to the file screen. So that's a possibility. But if I just choose this active screen, audio and video, in this HR folder, they would not be allowed to save any audio or video extension that we saw in that list. If I click OK for that and click Create, very similar to quotas, it says, do you want to save the custom properties as a template? I'm going to say no, I don't actually want to do that. Save the custom file screen without creating a template. Well, that's what I want to do, so I'm going to choose that and click OK. Now I have my HR folder has an active file screen for file group audio video. But notice the source template is blank. If I slide this window over, match template, nothing there. We'll just kind of organize these a bit. Very similar to quotas, there's a file screen template below. I can create my own file screen template. If I just right-click File Screen Template itself, there is an option to create a file screen template. Very similar to quotas. I can make this an active or passive file screen, and I get these file groups. So if I wanted to control audio and video extensions, executable files, email files, office files, really any type of file. You could create your own groups. If one of these does not fit exactly what your goal is, create your own. Well, I'm going to create one for audio and video and executable files. And we're just going to name this AV and EXE. So that'll be the name of my template. And I'm going to choose for notifications, send a warning to event log. Same notifications we saw for quotas. I could have an email generated, the event log. You could run a script, you could generate a report for file screen audit. Well, I'm going to choose OK for my template. Now, when I create a new file screen, I'm going to choose the path by browsing back to the C drive. And this time I'm going to choose my marketing folder. So I'm going to say OK for that. And I'm going to click Create. Just like quotas, source template block audio and video files. So I know the marketing has an active, not passive, but active. So it stops you from saving audio and video files. And I can see it's using the source template and it matches the template. Just like the HR folder, if I wanted to make a change, I could go and edit the template and it would allow me to make changes to every quota ever derived from that template. So in that sense, it is very similar to the quota templates. Same type of layout, just controlled in two different things.